What up guys, Clint Coons here, and in this video we're going to talk about something that's in the recent headlines because it ties so much back into what I cover on my channel. I couldn't ask for a better example of how not to do something. Now if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that when it comes to asset protection planning, one of the things that I'm very strong about, that I talk about, is the importance of anonymity in your planning. When it comes to setting up limited liability companies or owning real estate, now, there are ways to set this up so if somebody's doing a record search or trying to determine who the owner of an entity or property is, they're not going to find your name. And in fact, in March of this year, I cut a video on how to set up an LLC anonymously to protect it from creditors. And I went through multiple steps that you can do to ensure that people can't tie an entity back to you. Well, unfortunately, the person I'm referring to created quite the media storm when she recently purchased a property in Los Angeles. And the individual I'm referring to is Patrisse Cullors, a Black Lives Matter activist who bought this $1.4 million home in Topanga Canyon, LA. Now, of course, what happened is a reporter found out about it and then reported on it. How could this person buy this property given her position? I'm not here to talk about anything political, and far from it. What I want to show you is the reason why someone was able to figure this out and how you can buy property and not have someone come behind you and figure out that you're the actual owner of it. If only she'd watched one of my videos, maybe this would have turned out a little different. So, where does this story begin? Well, it begins with the filing of an entity. So she created a limited liability company in California called Abolitionist Entertainment LLC. And as you can see here, here is the filed articles that she submitted to create her limited liability company. As you're looking down there, it has her information there. Her name's all over it. All right, big red flag mistake. You know that when you create LLCs, you shouldn't be your own registered agent, because if you're your own registered agent, then it ties you right back to that company. By all means, you should not be the incorporator of your entity, which she was not. But then you also shouldn't be the manager or member, because all of this associates you to that company. And there's ways to set it up so that this will not be made public record if you do it the right way. And most of my techniques utilize land trust, privacy trust, or a Wyoming LLC as a holding company. None of this was employed in this situation to create this company. So the other mistake that you see here potentially is the address. So when you set up the LLC, you have to provide yourself an address. That is, the state wants to know if you're going to be a registered agent, where is that registered agent located? Now, you can see that address that's on the screen there. I actually went and I Googled it to figure out where is that property located. Hopefully this wasn't going to be another property that she owns. Well, fortunately it isn't. It actually happens to be a UPS store. So she's using a box inside of a UPS store for her business address and in the RA address. Well, unfortunately, what she's not aware of is that in California and many other states, you cannot use a UPS store as your registered agent's address. So this is a problem for her LLC. She's going to need to change this. Now, if they catch it, it's not I doubt it's going to happen. It would probably come up, though, in a lawsuit. An attorney would bring this up if they were coming after her. So that's definitely something that's going to need to be fixed here. So here you are as a reporter. You know that she's created a limited liability company. And if you want to determine, does this LLC own any property, all you have to do is go to a website such as datatree.com and put in her information. Put in her name or put in the limited liability company, like I did. And you'll then find out whether or not that LLC has purchased any property. Now, I'm not going to show you the property address. If you're interested and you want to know where someone lives, you can look it up on your own, but I do want to show you the type of information that is available. And this is what I was able to find and a lot more on this purchase. And that is, I see right here that Abolitionist Entertainment LLC bought this property and it is the owner of it. It tells me that it was paid for in cash. There is no debt on the property. And there's a lot more information that comes from these reports. And of course, they're all public record. So if you're buying property or you currently own property or you're setting up a business entity and you don't want people to know that you have it, then most definitely what you're going to want to do is set it up the right way. And this which really goes to show you, I'm sure she has good attorneys that she's worked with in the past that not everyone looks at it from the perspective in which we do as real estate investors or people who want to keep our ownership private. If you know how to set it up the right way, you can definitely do it, and there's some tweaks to it. And watch my other videos. I got a lot of videos talking about privacy. And then hopefully, of course, you'll never end up on a Twitter feed and creating a whole bunch of media firestorm about your real estate purchases. Hey guys, if you liked the video, give me a like. Listen, leave off all the political comments on here. This is not about that. This is strictly about how not to do something when it comes to setting up entities or owning property. Take care, everyone.